Welcome to Richland Community Library's Watercolor for Beginners with Miss Carrie. Today we are going to make some evergreen trees, so pine trees. There are so many cool, unique ways to make pine trees, and they make lovely Christmas cards or holiday cards for winter holidays. So we are only going to be using greens and browns today, although you could probably do some blues, or you could make your trees any color you want, but we're gonna stick with greens today. I'm going to be using my smaller or my medium size brush, and I'm going to show you several different kinds of trees. So there's just the normal where you start out with the tip and you just bring it back and forth, making it wider and wider. And I'm just kind of dabbing my brush from side to side, not in any major pattern or anything. And then of course you can take the tip of your, or the end of your brush, and bring it down, and then switch over to a brown. Just like so. So there's one little evergreen tree. Another way to do it is to dry your brush really nice, and if you're using palette or hard watercolors, then don't use very much water. You want to get your paint nice and thick. So I'm going to use the same green, and I'm not going to add a ton of water to it. And I'm just going to dot. So this will be a kind of a dotty kind of tree. And with the drier paint, you'll get more of a piney texture when using your brush. And again, I'm just kind of going back and forth, just like a pine tree would be. And again, you can kind of make a mark of where your trunk is, and then grab some brown with a nice dry brush, and you can add your brown trunk into there, just like that. So get really creative with the kinds of trees that you make. Maybe you just make a simple triangle, and maybe you make them different shades, different sizes. You don't have to get too fancy with your trees. Just like that. Moving on, let's see what other ones we can do. All right. You could also start a squiggly line tree, just like so. You could make an airy an airy tree. You just make some lines that go across, and maybe you switch colors and you put just like so. Just like that. So these are all on the smaller scale with the medium-sized brush. You can do the same thing in a larger scale if you'd like, but keep working on all the different ways you could make a tree. Maybe you let the brush do the work. So this time I'm going to start down at the bottom. And this is really all just about play. Being willing to make messes and mistakes and just play with your paint. Play with your brush. Alrighty, so let's do one more type of pine tree. This time I think we're going to start with a brown background. So maybe these trees are in the background. We'll kind of layer trees next to each other. Maybe a different color brown. And then same, just dabbing and blotting. All right, so there you have it. $11 different ways to make some trees. So now I want you to take another piece of paper and go ahead and fold it in half. And this way you can make a Christmas card or just a winter hello card. And I want you to make your favorite tree that you made, or maybe you have a different kind of tree that you made, and just make a card for somebody. So I'm gonna choose to make these pine trees right here, and I'm gonna just make them a little bit bigger than what was on that paper. And maybe a different shape than what they were. And if you leave some white space in there, it kind of looks like snow-covered trees. Maybe there's some snow on the branches. And you don't necessarily have to put in a trunk, because some of the pine trees out there go all the way down to the bottom or to the ground, and you don't really even see the trunk at all. You can make it rounded at the bottom, just like so. And you can always fill in the spots that you just don't agree with what you're doing there. There we go. I'm going to make my trees different colors. Another one, and you can play around with how thick you put it on. or how light you put it on makes it look like there's depth to your tree. And you can definitely keep layering. Once one part is dry, you can go back through and add a little more texture if you want, a little more color. And I'm going to add one more tree. All right. Now, if we grab just a little bit of light blue, really watery, we're going to make kind of a horizon line of snow. Just like so. All right. I would love to see what you guys made with your trees. I'd love to see any unique trees that you came up with by yourself. Go ahead and email those to me, and I'll see you again next month.